All right. Hello, everybody. Hope y'all doing all right. Let's go ahead and get this rolling, shall we? Make sure I send out the notification. And let's see, close that there. Oh, someone just sent me a very interesting message there on X. I may cover that. It depends. All right. So, and let me mute my phone because y'all don't need to hear the gazillion beeps and so forth. Phone is muted. All right. Let's do this. Okay, folks. Welcome to another Creator Office Hours. I am Pruitt. I can't hear myself in my ears. Now I hear myself. That's better. Perfect. I was a little too loud there. Anyway, I'm Pruitt. This is Creator Office Hours. Hope y'all are doing all right. I like to do these on Fridays, at least once a week, if at all possible. And just sit down and share different tips and tricks and ideas and so forth, as well as answer any questions that come from you in the creator community, questions that you may have regarding your photography, regarding your video, regarding social, regarding what have you, or even just shoot the shit, talk, what have you. That's what we're here for. If I have a topic at hand to discuss, I will have that ready to roll just in case there aren't any questions. But yeah, this is just a time to hang out and just if you got something on your chest regarding the creative space and you want to talk about it, the live chat is open here on YouTube. Just go into that live chat and say what you'd like to say, and we can go from there. I titled this one this week, "Yes, Gear Does Matter," and I had to put that out there because of some of my own personal experience. For many, many years, there were many creators and influencers that talked about your gear does not matter. The gear does not matter. And to an extent, it does not. Okay. To an extent, it does not. And to another extent, it does matter. And I got proof, but I think what happened with the messaging was, people saying gear doesn't matter. They were basically trying to say, hey, just use whatever the heck you have and go shoot, And that message, I 100% agree with. And I see that we have some live viewers popping in here, folks. Please do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the like button right now inside of YouTube so it can show me some love, because this is how I pay my bills. All right. So please hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit subscribe to let other folks see this here live stream. My apologies for my voice. I was yelling yesterday at a track meet for my son. His season is getting close to winding down, and he qualified for a championship and so forth. He qualified for a league championship. No, a section championship. He won the league championship, so he qualified for the section championship. So my voice is a little gone because I was yelling at him because I'm a freaking dad. So sorry about that. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. And I see some live chat coming in here. So hold on. Let me pull up. Whoops, that's the wrong button. Nobody wanted to see that. I see a live chat coming in here. This comes from Ozone Nightmare. Says happy Friday. And then he mentions thoughts on the DJI nonsense, meaning the potential ban. Oh man. Yeah, you're right. I do have some thoughts on that. And I see a question from Seamus as well, but hold on. Let's address the first one here. Okay, so first off, thank you, Ozone Nightmare, for being here. I really do appreciate you. As a matter of fact, you got my email address. Shoot me an email today. Actually, just shoot it right now so I see it in my box because I need to holler at you. far as the DJI potential ban, look here. It's such freaking bullshit. The stuff that's going on, in my opinion, the stuff that's going on with our governments and leadership regarding what's approved, what's not approved, what's safe, what's not safe, what's a threat, what's not a threat. Okay. A lot of it comes off as just really prejudice. Some of it even comes off as xenophobic. Some of it just comes off as, all right, these people are paying me more, so I'm going to make sure I lock things down on the other side of the coin, you know, and people are going to come at me and question my patriotism and all of that. Fine. What have you? I don't care. You know, we hear all of this talk about China in politics. And I'm not a politic person, but we hear all of this talk about the threats of China, but no one ever talks about the threats of Russia. You know, that Russia is still a thing, and Russia still has a lot of power too. So is it just the flavor of the month? This month we're going to talk about China, or this quarter we're going to talk about China, and then in the next quarter we're going to talk about Russia. I mean, it is an election year here in the United States. Previously, the Russia talk was really, really big when Mr. Donald Trump was involved. Okay, so next quarter we're going to start talking about Russia again because Donald Trump is in the political news again. It's such bullshit. And what they're trying to do, far as quote banning TikTok, because of their security threat, I don't buy it. We can be hacked so many different ways as a nation. We can be mind hacked so many different ways as a nation through these apps that we use, not just TikTok, even YouTube. There can be all kinds of crazy messaging and information and misinformation on YouTube, as big as it is. And that's homegrown here in the US. So what's the difference? I don't get it. Far as DJI goes, I laughed my ass off when I saw it, considering most movies that we Americans love to enjoy use DJI drones, the Matrice drones, the bigger drones, not the smaller drones, to film certain scenes. Most of the infrastructure maintenance here in the US uses DJI drones to maintain our infrastructure. Why? Because the DJI drones are freaking reliable. They're really good drones. So whatever, man. I think it's bullshit. Sorry for, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be in a better mood, as I've been in a bad mood the last 3 days. So sorry. So let me get in a better mood. But yeah, that's my thoughts on DJI. So there was another, chat in here. Let me pull that up. Oh, and that's a super chat. Thank you, Joe. Super chat. He says there are absolutely levels to gear. Get the best you can afford, then use your skills and creative talent to fill in the gap. Budget shouldn't stop creation, but as always, you get what you pay for. You absolutely nailed it. And thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate the $10 super chat. Oh, sorry, man. My heart rate's my heart rate's up. I'm telling you, it's been a bad couple days for me emotionally. So let's go to what Seamus was saying here. Seamus was saying, apart from yourself, who else would you recommend to give reliable, impartial advice for effective tools / hardware to use in the creative space? Oh, that is a good question, sir. All right. So when it comes to getting advice from content creators, your mileage may vary. I know this is probably like a really obvious answer, but the first person that comes to my mind is MKBHD. But MKBHD could also rub creators, aspiring creators, the wrong way because of his status. He is so high up there. But I highly trust what that cat says. And that trust has grown from me over the years, because as much as Apple loves him, he'll call out Apple. Hey, this is a nice laptop, but I don't see this being so much better than your previous laptop, but yet you want me to pay more money when the previous laptop is just as good. I'll just tell folks they should probably just go buy the previous version. I love the fact that he's so frank and honest about that. You know, he's making his money in a gazillion different ways, be it YouTube as a vessel to get more revenue streams, you know, get the D brands ads and stuff like that. My light is flashing on my camera. I think the battery is weirding out. Hold on. Give me half a second. Coming right back. I know what it is. Okay. Oh, man. Sorry about that. Thank goodness for tally lights on cameras. But yeah, back to MKBHD, Marquez Brownlee. I highly recommend him as far as advice. But again, it's going to rub some people the wrong way because he's such an upper echelon creator. And then there's... This is also going to sound really biased and bad, I guess, but the folks at Twit.tv, you know, I've been a fan for them for I don't know how long. And when I was an employee there, that didn't change. My fandom of them never changed. And people are going to have their issues and thoughts of Mr. Leo Laporte, what have you, fine. But when it comes to the reviews and things like that were done on that platform, everybody that did their reviews were honest freaking reviews. Even when I was there, stuff was sent to me to demo and review. But not one time did I ever feel pressure to be the first to get the review out. And that's because we want the review to matter and not just be for clicks. I reviewed a handful of different laptops, a handful of different cameras and things like that. Some cameras that were not very popular that turned out to be freaking awesome cameras. And that's because we took the time there in that studio to go through, look at the nuts and bolts, look at the ins and outs, and understand if that freaking product was going to be worthy of people buying it, and put our honest opinions on it and not just sell it because the PR people sent it to us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I still recommend Twit when it comes to stuff like that. Be it Micah Sargent, be it Alex Lindsay, be it all of those cats, man. Everybody that has some level of reviewing capability there at Twit, they're doing it straight up, and it's not just for clicks. It's more so for the news and the information. Same for the folks at ZDNET, and ZDNET is owned by Red Ventures. Yeah, Red Ventures, okay, owns ZDNET. But as a writer there, I'm there now because they have the same values that I have. You know, DJI, we just talked about DJI. They launched the Avata 2 drone. Freaking awesome drone. I had the drone for a couple of weeks before the announcement came out. My thoughts still didn't come up until just like last week. And it was okay. You know what I'm saying? I did a little quick TikTok video because I really wanted to put it through its paces, and it went well. You know what? I wonder if I could show y'all the TikTok video. Let's see here. TikTok. Let's see. ZDNet. I'll show it to you here on the screen. And yeah, there it is. So let me do a quick screen share. Pause and do screen share. Like that. Is that it? Oh, I got so much crap open on my screen. Y'all have no idea. So this is the video. And maybe you'll hear the audio too. DJI has launched its Avata 2 FPV drone. This drone was teased to be the big step up from the previous Avata version. According to most, the OG Avata was satisfactory, but not great. The Avata 2 is an unbelievable upgrade. The 1-inch sensor on the camera allows you to shoot in HDR 4K video up to 60 frames per second. If you want super slow-mo footage, you can shoot at 120 frames per second in 2K. Shooting in D-Log is great for color grading and making your footage pop. The Goggles 3 is amazing, offering great clarity and frame rate to really help immerse yourself into your flight, not to mention the pass-through mode so you can see through the goggles without having to take them off. The motion controller offers ease of use flying the Avata 2 as well as one-button acro tricks. This isn't for me as I like the standard controller better. You can get the Avata 2 starting at $9.99 at your favorite online retailer. Okay, so there's that. I hope you could hear it. Let's get that off my screen because I got too much stuff on my screens. Good grief. Sorry about that. Yeah, so again, Pruitt, ZDNET, I definitely recommend those as far as people to check out for hardware and software recommendations regarding the world of content creation. Thank you for that, Seamus. Great question. Thank you for being here. And I see my man Hybrid Media has popped in. Good to see you, my man. Perfect having you here. Another great creator. Everybody that's here live, if you haven't done so already, please hit like in the YouTube app there so YouTube will continue to let folks know that we're over here hanging out and chatting. So let me go back to our chat again and see some of the other questions. The next one comes in from Cheesehead Media. Good to see you too. I love these repeat folks coming in here, just making this community great. Man, y'all really warm my heart. Thank you. It says, what are those covers on the ear cups of your headphones? Are they washable? Are they disposable? Is what he says. I thought I had it on the screen. There it is. Now you can see it. Okay, these are my Bayer Dynamic DT7700. Hold on, let me look. DT700 Pro X. And yes, these cups can be removed. I haven't attempted to wash them yet, but now that you mention it, maybe I could attempt to wash them. I don't know. They probably are washable, but most of the time, at least in the past, with some of my other headphones, I've had Sennheiser monitors and so forth. I just bought new cups because it was quick and easy. They normally cost like $8 or something like that. So I'll just buy new cups to put on them. Yeah, this is like $8. And then some more chat coming in here. Ozone Nightmare says, would Apple show the same love for MKBHD if he didn't command the audience he does? My guess is no. And I'm pretty sure he knows that as well. So why coddle them? Companies ain't your friends, folks. Thank you. They are companies. They're not friends. They are companies. They're not friends. We really need to understand that, y'all. As consumers, we really need to understand that all of these companies, be it Apple, be it Canon, be it Google, whomever, be it Comcast Cable or whoever, they are freaking companies. They're not friends. They're not people. They're all companies, and their bottom line is profit. Okay. As soon as we get that and accept that, we will start to understand half of the bullshit that they do. They always have these warm and fuzzy messages out there and so forth about being this and that for the community. Don't buy it. Don't buy it, because when shit hits the fan, what matters is freaking profit. Prime example, Apple. Apple's phones are designed in Cupertino, California, but they're manufactured in China. Okay. All right. Next question here. On my MKBHD comment, when I said why coddle them, I didn't mean he does. I intended it to be, this is from Ozone Nightmare. Let me pull that back up there. I intended that more as why the hell would he coddle them? If his numbers drop, they won't care what he says anyway. Exactly. Again, because they're a company. They're not his friend. That's the thing. Yeah. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for those questions. Thank you for the super chats. This is good stuff. Now I'm in a better mood. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're hanging out today just with our creative office hours, if I could speak. This is the platform that allows you as a content creator or an aspiring content creator or someone that's just interested in the whole world in general to ask your questions, be it photography, be it video, be it PR and media relations and things like that. Just ask away here in the chat. I really do appreciate it. And again, we titled this this session today, Yes, Gear Does Matter. And I put that out there just in case questions didn't come in. So what I want to do is talk about why gear does matter, because I believe previously in years past, be it in the last decade or so, there was a strong message about your gear doesn't matter, your gear doesn't matter, which was cool to an extent. But I think some people's message got a little wishy-washy. It should have said more along the lines of your gear doesn't matter. Just get out there and create something with what you have. That's what I'm talking about. And that is a great mindset to have. For example, Susie Botello, she does a mobile film festival in San Diego every daggum year. Let me show that here. She, and it's all just based on people using, it used to be their iPhones, but now it's whatever freaking phone that you have. And I've been a judge for this festival for the last couple of years. And I got to tell you, some of the movies and stuff that come in from these participants are freaking unbelievable. They're so well done, and they were all done on mobile devices. So that's one of those moments of, your gear doesn't matter. Okay, so that's a moment for that. So now let me get into some ideas of when your gear does matter. I'm gonna reach over here on my desk. When you get your cameras, and this is for people that buy cameras, when you buy a camera, it typically comes with what they call a kit lens, and it does all right. It at least gets you started and lets you understand the ins and outs of your camera. A lot of them will have a lower aperture and so forth, and it just gets the job done to a certain extent. So then you get your eyeballs on something like this little lens here. This is they call it the Nifty 50. This is a Canon 50 millimeter. I think this is a 1.8. Yeah, 1.8 STM lens. And Canon will entice you with this lens because it is only $120 or something like that. It may be cheaper than that now. And when you slap that lens onto your camera versus the kit lens, it is a night and day difference. It is so much cleaner. And then you get a different aperture, so you get more of a shallow depth of field if you open it up even more, if you know how to shoot that way properly. So yeah, this is a nice lens, and you're thinking, okay, this is the one I'm going to go with going forward. But it doesn't stop there. This is another lens. Now this lens is an 85 millimeter. This is probably my go-to lens for portraiture. Okay. This lens here was $120 or so, like that. This lens here is more along the lines of about $400. Again, starting to get a little more pricey. You got a different focal length, but there are some interesting differences when it comes to this lens. Okay. This one has a bit more of a plasticky feel to it, plastic composite feel. So it's really, really light. This one still has a little plastic to it, but it's a little bit heavier. The mechanics and the optics on the inside are a little bit heavier. And even if you look at the glass, you're probably not going to be able to pick it up here on YouTube. But even if you look at the glass on it, even the glass looks a little bit more like a plastic plexiglass kind of thing when you look right at it. And then if I look at this one, this is the 85. This one looks like, whoa, some really, really thick glass, And all of that makes a big difference in how your images or your video is going to turn out. And then one more example I want to show. Let's see, put this away. right there. This lens here, oh gosh. This lens, it is, I'm thinking it might be about 15 years old, if not older. Okay. And I haven't even shown it to you yet, but it might be about 15 years old. And I've had it forever. And mine finally died. The autofocus motor in it finally died. And I can't get it repaired because it will cost more to repair it than what the lens is worth nowadays. So I just need to buy a new lens, a newer, updated version of this lens. This is a Canon 400 millimeter 5.6 L series lens. 400 millimeter meaning this is used more so for wildlife, and in my instance more so for sports photography, so I can get in nice and tight. It doesn't have image stabilization or anything like that built into it, but what it does have is amazing glass on the inside, amazing optics, and it is a freaking tank. You hear that? This is a weapon. It is so solid. And when you go to use this thing, it's night and day difference from my alternative lens, which I thought I brought it in here, but it isn't. Oh yeah, it is. It's right there. I just didn't move it over here. Hold on. Let me grab it. Okay, so since that lens autofocus motor died, I said if it came down to it in extreme issues, I will use this lens. And this is a 75 to 300 millimeter lens, and it's plasticky. It gives me the reach, but it's not the best glass. But at the very least, it'll give me the reach and allow me to at least capture something that if I need to, and just work on it more so in post. Okay. So you see this and you're like, man, this price point is such a huge difference. It can't be that much better, right? You know, let me tell you, yeah, your gear does matter, depending on what you're trying to do. So but there's a question. I'm going to open up Lightroom just to give y'all some examples and let you see some of the stuff that I've worked with. But we got a question in here. Pull that up. Live chat says, Hybrid Media. Oh, thank you for the applause, Kenya work. Hybrid Media says, I'm currently at a jewelry store doing some macro photography. Now that's dedication. Outstanding, man. And macro photography on jewelry is really hard because it's so reflective. Much respect. Ozone Nightmare says, curious, now that you've been on the Mac for a while, has the honeymoon ended? I've used Mac and Windows enough for time to feel like each side has an equal set of annoyances that drive me nuts. Yeah, as far as the Mac goes, I still love this thing. And the reason I love it is because it just works 95% of the time. Just flat out works. Windows, I still have a couple of Windows laptops that I lean on regularly. And they do what I need them to do. I particularly use the Windows laptop when I'm writing my short story that I'm still working on. I still do not like Windows anymore. It's just slow. Just something about Mac and how it flows. And then you add their M2 or Apple Silicon, not just M2, because this is an M2 Pro. But any of the Apple Silicon is night and day better. So yeah, no honeymoon period. The honeymoon, is done, but I'm still happily, quote, married with this thing here. So now let me go ahead and switch my screen and show y'all some examples here inside of Lightroom. So let's move this here like that. Any data? There we go. And then hit tutorial button there. There we go. All right. So here, this is Lightroom, and this is an image shot at 300 millimeter. And this is with that other lens. This is with that lens that died. And when you look at it, it looks okay. All right. This hasn't been processed or anything like that, but as I'm looking at it right out the gate, it looks okay. But when I start thinking about, all right, I need this to be ready for prints and for parents to want to purchase it. So I have to put on my details eye. Okay. I zoom in and you look right here on the shoulder. Okay. You start to see this chromatic aberration and fringing. That's coming from that glass. You see that? It's got this green background and it blurred it out quite nicely. There's a reason for that. There's a tip and trick for that. Blurred it out nicely, but look at this chromatic aberration here and the fringing going along the edge. That's not good. So I couldn't necessarily put that forward as a image to use. So let's scroll through a couple more like these marked in blue. What is this shot with? Now this one is a little bit better. There's still a little bit of that fringing going on the edge there. But in the end, it still turned out to be a little bit better because I was better stabilized and the sharpness of it is so much better. Okay. So now let's compare it to like my 70 to 200. Let me find one of those. Let's see. Library. Let me scroll down over here. Let's go to the 70 to 200. And this is a bunch of images. And this is from last month. Bunch of images. Let's go with the 70 to 200 here. Is this one here? Yeah, this is one. All right, look at that one. And it's ridiculous. First off, I got f2.8 as the aperture, so the background compression is even more. It really does help separate the subject from the back. But then when I zoom in, you don't see that aberration. You don't see that fringing and stuff going on. Super sharp, super clean. You know, and another thing that happens with some of these lenses are color cast. The 300 backup that I'm using, it also will give a bit of a magenta tint to the subject, you know, and that's unfortunate because I have to go in and fix that, you know. Another message coming in from Cheesehead Media. Oh yeah, he's agreeing with Ozone Nightmare about Mac OS. Yeah. And that's another thing about Mac OS that I love. I love the whole command spacebar trick. I love that. It's so quick. And then I love in Finder being able to just hit spacebar to preview a file real quickly, especially when you got thumbnails like mine. Oh, that's brilliant. Love that. Anyway, so that's something to consider with the lenses is just first off the sharpness and just the performance of the lens. I think this is the 70 to 200 again. Yeah, it's just super sharp. I mean, so look at the dirt. Now, granted, that comes down to understanding the exposure triangle, making sure your shutter speed is fast enough. I think the shutter speed is very fast. Yeah, shutter speed is at 1/1250th of a second. That's like ridiculously fast. So anything, if you can shoot a shutter speed that fast, you need to make sure you have plenty of light, which I did because I'm outside. So I got plenty of light and I have the aperture set. So it's going to allow even more light onto the sensor. So it's going to freeze whatever I snap. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. Another instance where gear matters. Let me minimize this and go into Photoshop. This picture here. Gear matters in this image because this is a lighting problem. This is I didn't take this photograph. Another photographer took this photograph for a promo that she was a part of at a local dentist area. You can see it says Dr. Craig Davis. That's a local dentist. She and Hardhead were featured as promos because they're freaking beautiful people and got great teeth, right? So who else do you want promoting your business as a dentist? Duh. That's creating and dominating, y'all. But anyway, they had their own photographer. I got no problem with the photographer. This picture looks great. Looks great-ish. When she sent this to me, and then when Hardhead sent it to me, because he saw the same thing that I saw, because his versions of it have the same characteristics, if you will. But you know what? Actually, let me ask you guys in the chat, do you notice anything in this image before I share what it actually is? Is it something that stands out to you all? I see people popping in. And again, if you're here in the live chat, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the like button in YouTube. I really do appreciate that. It's how I pay bills. Let's see. Ozone Nightmare says, yes, Finder sucks. How can it still be this bad? Okay, well, if you said Finder sucks, it's much better than Windows Explorer, in my opinion. Ozone Nightmare said Pretty gets paid. Yes, Pretty does get paid. That is create and dominate right there for them. D Mancy, hey brother, good to see you. The entire family is on the C and D way. I could barely get my kid off the couch. That's funny. Yeah, everybody in the Pruitt house, we have a creator bone, and I've told them all to just embrace it and go with it. And that right there is the prime example. I didn't shoot this, but their faces, they're now on ads out here in the area. All right, and then I saw a comment says, as far as the image goes, overexposure for sure. Nope, that's not it. Let's see. Looks like blown out lights too. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Let me show you why. Can I get to a histogram? Let me see. Can I open in a histogram? View, filter. Actually, let's just do it in camera raw. That'll give me a histogram right at the top. Well, what the heck happened? Okay, I'm not sure what happened there because that is not what's supposed to. So let me do a quick save, real quick. Save. And I'm going to close it. There we go. Yes, I know. I just want this to be a TIFF file, and I'm going to reopen Photoshop. Photoshop weirded out on me, so let me fix this here. Sorry about that. That tends to happen with live shows, right? And it's still saving. Must be a really big file. I didn't do that much to it. Good gosh. Okay, that's taking way too long to save. I'm going to punt and we'll go over here. That's what we'll do. I'm not going to show you a histogram, but we're going to punt. Switch to this view here. Minimize that. Minimize that. Minimize that. There. All right. So this is the image. All right. And it is not an exposure thing. What is happening here is the color is off. And I'm not sure how it's displaying on YouTube, but when I saw this image, she showed it to me. I looked at it on my phone first and I was like, that's not right. So I immediately came in and looked at it on my computer screen and my suspicion was confirmed. A very, very common issue with shooting photographs of black folks or any people of color is getting the skin tones right. Okay. It's not always easy. It is what it is, but you can take the extra moments as a photographer to make sure you get it right. And in this instance, he did a great job with post-processing, but the skin tones are not right. Her skin tone has a little bit of a green hue to it. Okay. If you have a calibrated screen, you'll see it, but especially right here, there's a lot of green going on in the middle of her face. Not so much on this arm here and in the shadow there where the luminance values are a little bit lower. That looks better. But where the luminance values are a little bit higher, meaning it's brighter, more light lit up, that's where you start to see the green. And that is a dead giveaway of the light that is used on that shot, because if you zoomed in, you could see on the eyeballs here that there's a softbox key light, which most photographers use. But that light, if it's not rated not a decent rated light, it's going to give you a color cast. Well, actually, about all of them give you a color cast. But if it's supposed to be rated for 5600 Kelvin, you can check it and make sure it actually is daylight set. But sometimes they will shift one way or another. Some will shift more to a green tint and some will shift more to a magenta tint. And it could be just ever so slightly. And I don't know if any of them would get it perfectly. But this one was glaring to me. All right, so let me go back here. Let me see if Photoshop is going to add right now. So I'll close that and see if I can show y'all this other thing. Let's see. Photoshop is there. Why didn't you close Photoshop? I told you to quit. All you had to do is quit. Jeez. You spent all that time, you never did save, and you didn't quit. All right, we'll go back over here to Lightroom. Lightroom is there. I totally forgot what I was going to show. The chat says what? Guess we're all wrong. Yep, you were all wrong. Man just sung max praises and drops the hammer. That's life, folks. Man, you're not right. Oh gosh, definitely need to get my screen recalibrated, and I don't see the green at all. Yeah, definitely. There's a bunch of tools out there for screen calibration, and it's one of those things where it's an investment. You know, you're going to have to spend some cash on it. But if you're going to take this stuff seriously, you make sure your screen is good, and also be able to lean onto the tools within your software, such as the histogram and such as a scopes view and things like that. So, all right, Photoshop just quit, and let me see if it'll work now. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Let's open this TIFF file. There we go. It's thinking. Oh, damn. It screwed up. I'll show y'all. It looked like it applied the image to what I was wanting to work with. There it goes. Wait a minute. Maybe it's fixed now. Yeah, it applied this layer to it, and it shouldn't have. Son of a mother. All right, so I'll do this. We'll just say file, open. And here it is here. That's the original. There we go. All right. So now let me show you some tools that proves my point. So we'll open this up into Camera Raw. Okay. And hopefully you're still with me, folks. All right. So I'm inside of Color Raw. Let's take a look at this color. And as I said, in the higher luminance areas, there's a green hue showing up on her skin, and you can see this inside of Camera Raw or even inside of Lightroom's HSL, also known as the color mixer. And there's a tool right here. If you click this little icon, it's got like a target on it. You hover your mouse wherever you want to hover it, and you'll see that it gives you these color values. And you notice there's two circles there. One's blue, one's green. And I get over here. As I get into these, these different luminance values, that green circle starts to go away and it comes back. See that? Okay. Let me see if I could zoom in some more. Move down like that. Do you see the difference there, folks? All right. So now, definitely here on the nose, you see that little green circle. Then it goes away as I get into the darker area. Like the lips. Lips don't have the green. This darker area of her skin doesn't have that green. But now that key light is hitting this cheekbone. Okay? Now that key light is showing. There's a green hue. And you have to fix that. First thing you can do is take a look at white balance. And no, this wasn't necessarily going to be a session about how to color grade and stuff. I know this was more about making sure we understand that gear does matter. So since this gear was off, I needed to change the white balance. So I took the color temperature down just a touch to cool it off. And then I shifted the tint a little bit more towards the magenta, just barely, like so. And if you want, you can even look at your histogram at the top and look at the color grading options. Right here, this is your highlights side of the histogram. And you still see there's green showing up in that histogram. Okay, so I'm going to hit the highlight section of this color grade and just drag it away from the green just barely. You don't want to overdo it because then it's going to look like crap. Just barely move it. So I drag it away and then I can just sort of rotate it around to reflect whatever color I want. But we want to go on the opposite side of the green, which would be magenta there. All right, so I'm gonna cancel that. Yes, dismiss what I got. So this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looked like after I did what I needed to do. And I don't know if you can see a difference, but before, even look at the background. Even the background isn't white here. Okay, and this is clearly a seamless white backdrop, but that background is not even white. But over there, it is. All right. So does that make sense? Live chat is saying, let's see. Pretty gets paid. Guess we're all wrong. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Ozone Nightmare says, yep, the green I see. Yep. And yeah, that change is showing up. Perfect. Excellent. Yeah. Definitely get your tools to make things better for you doing your content creation job. Definitely take into consideration, the stuff that you want to buy to do this stuff. Yes, cost makes a difference. I've used this Nifty 50 for a lot of different stuff, and it is serviceable. It is serviceable, but I use this one, this 85 millimeter, a lot more. And there are lenses that are better than this thing, that are way better than this thing, but I can get by with it. It does a great job with managing the color. It does a great job with clarity. And then it gives me a great shallow depth of field. And because it's 85 millimeters, the compression in the background is just so smooth and creamy. The 70 to 200, which is over there, I'm not going to grab it. It's over there too. That one, that is probably the better between that one and this one. But I like this one. Just if I know I'm going to do headshots for somebody, I will gravitate to this one first. Even though that 70 to 200 is better, but there's something about this one that I'm comfortable with, and I know what it's going to look like when I pull it up in post. It's going to be very minimal on post processing, if any. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. All right. Do we have any other questions before we get out of here? Comments and so forth. I really do appreciate y'all being here, and I appreciate y'all sharing out the community and sharing out this little thing with everybody. Good old office hours. And as I said before, I'm going to attempt to do these every Friday, but I don't know what the future holds. A lot of stuff's been going on. I still need to try to relocate. Don't know when or where that's going to happen. I started a part-time janitor job, but that's not on Friday, so that shouldn't affect it. But if I get a casting call or something like that on Fridays, I got to take it. As a matter of fact, right after this call here, this hangout here, I have a phone interview to do with somebody, and it's a totally random phone interview. I'll just say that. It is so freaking random. But I'm going to do it because what I'm finding in my experience right now, there are people that are hiring and looking for creators as contractors and so forth. I see a gazillion listings for them, and I'm not getting hired for them. And that could be a couple different things. They could think that I'm not good enough, which is fine. I get it. And they could think so-and-so is better. Well, yeah, that's fine. They could think, you know what? He probably charges too much, which is fine. I don't know. Either way, I'm getting a lot of no's, and it's pretty frustrating. I know you're going to get a lot of no's in this business because it is sales. You're going to get probably 80% no's and 20% yeses. So you got to make those yeses count, you know? I get it, you know? Oh, there's some chat coming up here. Let me see. What's this chat saying? Oh, that's a super chat too. Thank you. Also works to build up to a better gear set. Some people, this comes from Ozone Nightmare with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. It says, some people seem to think you have to buy all the best at once, but you can absolutely assemble the ideal kit over time. That is a fact, sir. That is a fact. You can buy a camera, you know, you can buy an inexpensive APS-C camera and it'll still take great photos. It's not going to let you go out and shoot action sports because it can't keep up with the frame rate. It can't shoot 15 frames a second. It might shoot 4 frames a second, which is not fast enough. You know what I'm saying? But it's still a serviceable camera. It's still serviceable for doing little vlog videos and things like that. So yeah, you're absolutely correct. Demancy says, any recommendation for color calibration tools? Spider and Data Color. I use, where is mine? Yeah, I use a Data Color. It's up there on the shelf. I'm not going to grab it. I'll grab a link for it and put it here in the chat. I use that. But then there's also your passport cards too. Yeah, get a passport card. Hold on. Okay. Now this is not calibrating your monitor, okay? But this tool right here, this is a color checker passport, and this is from Calibrate. Data Color makes them too. But you use these to make sure your colors are great, good to go, okay? And then if you open it on the other side, this is the side I use the most for my video shoots in photography. This is the white balance. I always get a frame with this thing. And these are not cheap. You don't want to put your fingers on these color cards. That's why they're in this hard case. But they freaking save your butt when it comes to making sure your colors are great. You know what I'm saying? And let me see if I can grab a link for the ones that I have. So we'll go to Amazon. I'm going to give you an affiliate link. Please and thank you. This is Data Color. I think mine is an X Pro. No, Spider. Mine is a Spider Pro, and this is an older one, but it works. And putting this in our chat right now. It is right here. There you go. Thanks for using affiliate links. But that is the Spider 5 Pro. It's older, but it still works. And according to this on Amazon, there's only 8 left in stock, whatever that means. Come on, that's a lot. Somebody else has it. Calibrate color checker. And this is the Calibrate color checker passport. Yep, here it is. And affiliate link for that. Copy. And we're going to paste that right there into the chat as well. I see these funny live chats coming in, man. Y'all are killing me. Ant is making me spend money. But send the link. I probably need to upgrade that piece of gear. Yeah, there you go. I promise you, I'm not trying to make you spend money, but I am trying to make your job a lot easier. And, you know, when I grabbed this little passport from over there, it was sitting next to this light. This is an LED light from Stella Pro. If the camera will focus on it, it doesn't look like it wants to focus. There it goes. But this is an LED light from Stella Pro. I use these on shoots too, and they are not cheap. I think they're discounted now, but I think it was $1,000 when I got it. It may be like $600 now, but they are not cheap, but they're amazing. I can use it as a constant light like this here. I could even sit it in this big softbox and use it to light me up on the show here. Or I can use it as a flash, like a speed light on a camera. I put my little remote trigger on my camera and it will connect to this and allow me to shoot really, really, really fast frame rates. Because with most speed lights, you can shoot a fast frame rate for a handful of shots, and then your light has to sort of reset. It has to recycle, so you lose time. You don't have to worry about that with this. As well as, it's pretty freaking bulletproof. It's another solid piece of gear. I've dropped it, thrown it. It can go outside and get wet in the rain. It's, you know, but again, it's you get what you pay for, and it also depends on what needs are you trying to fill with it. Everybody doesn't need that. Okay. This is a great light from Light in Motion and Stella Pro. Great light. Everybody doesn't need it though. I need it because I've had to use it. Oh, wait a minute. What's this message from Cheese Media? Oh no. I believe the Spider 5 has been discontinued and replaced by the X2. Okay, yeah, that's what I said. Mine was old. I knew mine was old. It still works. But okay, so that's why it said only 8 left. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. So the X Pro. But anything from Data Color should be good to go. And all these tools do is calibrate your computer screen. So Data Color X2. Oh yeah, there's the X Pro. Oh, that's a good price too. Now they have another one that's an Elite. I'm not going to recommend that one just yet. So here, go with this one here. Let me give you the link for that. Copy, throw that in the chat there. Use this Data Color X screen calibration tool. It's like I said, all it's going to do is just help you calibrate your monitor, because not all computer monitors are created equally. They all talk about being super bright and color accurate and yada yada yada. And every single one that I've gotten, you put this on there and I've had to adjust it every single time. And you have to make your adjustments based on not just the monitor itself, but it depends on the room that you're in. You know, if you got a lot of sunlight coming in, it's going to affect your display. If you got a big key light right here, it's going to affect your display. You know, so all of that stuff has to be taken in consideration, as well as the age of your computer. Over time, you need to recalibrate. You should probably recalibrate your monitor at least once a quarter. Every 3 months, run your color checker and make sure it's calibrated properly for Rec 709. Okay. All right. Are there any other questions before I get out of here so I can get ready for my next phone call? I thank y'all for being here, and I thank y'all for the super chats and the super thanks in the comments and stuff like that. I really do appreciate that. I thank y'all for sharing it out and telling everybody, and using those affiliate links too. Did y'all check out the podcast this week? The podcast was a lot of fun. There was the return of Queen Pruitt on the podcast, because she'd been on hiatus for obvious reasons with the acting career and all. And it was a lot of fun talking to her. A lot of fun. Ozone Nightmare says, as always, thanks for the great stream. Have a a great weekend. Pod tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate that. All right, everybody. Again, thanks for the support. If you're interested in the podcast, just go to antpruitt.com/podcast. If you're interested in being a part of my Patreon community, please feel free to do so. There's a free tier and there's a paid tier in Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/antpruitt. And be sure to check out my stuff on ZDNET too, as I continue to get a little more busy with that content. I got some cameras coming from Canon that they would like for me to play with and share my thoughts on them. I don't know how soon they're going to be here, but I thought it would have been here by now. There was a Canon camera as well as a Sony camera that they'd like for me to compare and contrast for our readers, because again, I'm not doing those things just for clicks. You know, I hate the sensational tech reviewer. I can't stand it. That's not me, and I never will be that person. Now, granted, I did get mad at my editor the other day. I got mad at my editor the other day because I shared my thoughts on the Insta360. Let me see if I can pull that. You know, but editors, they do a good job. They do what they need to do to make sure that it's going to be concise and still get the message across, as well as even down to how they do titles and stuff like that. They want to make sure the titles are going to be click worthy. All right, so let's see if I do a screen share. All right, full screen share, and go. All right, so this is the article on ZDNET, and I did a pretty deep dive on it and gave as much information that I thought would be applicable. Okay. And I got down here to this section of the stuff that I didn't like. Where did it go? Camera body is that. There. Oh, shoot. Here we go. What impressed me, you know, this utility frame and so forth. Oh, I don't see it. Did he totally cut it out? Because there was a point in here. There was a point in this piece where I said "dad gum" because I was pissed, and they took it out. Yeah, it looks like they took it out. Oh man, that's fine. I'll do a find on it. Scratch. There we go. All right. The additional protector is very much a necessity because the Insta360 lenses are so, right here I said so dadgum fragile, and I had it in big, bold letters that I somehow got micro scratches on them after just 3 days of usage. You know, because you can see in this picture here, it has this little silicone cover, but it also comes with these little lens covers to put on top of the lens, as well as having this over the top of that, the silicone over the top of those protectors. And I swear it was literally day 3 and I saw a micro scratch on it, and it pissed me off because I knew to be careful with it because I've had 360 cameras in the past, and I knew that those things scratch up pretty easily. So I was super careful. I promise you, I got protective cases. I put stuff in cloth. I never put things on hard surfaces. I was super careful with it. It still got scratched. So annoying. All right, back to you all. My rant is done. Cheesehead Media says, thanks for doing this, Ant. Have a great weekend. Thank you. You too. I really do appreciate you. All right. With that said, I'm going to get out of here. Have yourselves a good weekend, folks. I don't have a ball game or anything like that to shoot today, so I'm going to look forward to a little bit of rest. Ozone, please be sure to email me, and Demancy, if you got any questions, you can email me, text me as well. I appreciate your support, and I'm happy for you and your journey with getting into photography more and more and actually getting clients. Man, I'm really, really happy for you. It warms my heart to see that you're crushing it out there. All right, folks, be well. do well, do something nice for yourself, do something nice for someone else. And as always, continue to create and dominate. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.